Hi guys, good morning. It's bright and early. What time is it anyways? It's 8:10 on a Saturday. And I'm doing this video today early because when I have to work, then we have flag football, soccer games, and a fun harvest party that I'm really excited about to go to. But, okay, so I don't know if any of you saw those videos, or the video from last night, but all those kids that were running around in the background, those people are all in my house, and so my poor husband is like making 5 kids breakfast, and he's just rocking it. He's so good. I'm sure they're having way more fun than if I was making breakfast, because I'm kind of a clean freak, and I know that whatever I get out to make breakfast, I'm gonna have to clean up. So I'm like, cereal for everybody or granola bar or something. So, anyways, okay, I am super nervous today because, I want to get this point out so well, and I know as soon as I turn off the video, I'm going to be like, dang it, I should have said that, or I should have said this. So, okay, today the challenge is for me, or for anybody else that's in the Monat challenge, is to share with you guys why I joined Monat and how it ever became how it ever came up. I definitely have my notes on this one because I just want to I don't want to forget anything. So first of all, I just have to explain that I've been a hairstylist for 15 years, and probably in the last 5 years, I have always gone home and asked Joe, my husband, what else can I do? I love my job, but I just know that there's something else out there for me. And I just kept thinking about it, and he was probably getting really sick of me saying it, but he would never tell me that. He was like, it'll come, something will show up, something will come up. And I'm like, and I just start digging and trying to find it. And so then a year ago is when we bought this house, and it was, let's say, a little over our price range. And so we were trying to figure out how can we do it. Anyways, I think I'm getting off track. That's when we decided to open up the salon in the shop. So that was our biggest dream. Okay, for our next house, what do we want? What would be a dream? What would be ideal? And putting a salon in the shop, or putting a salon not in the house, because I need to be apart from all the stuff over there, but somewhere on the property, I guess you would say, because my kids are getting older and they don't really need daycare, but they kind of need daycare, and I just don't want to miss out on a lot of stuff. So I'm getting slightly off track here. So anyway, so we opened up the salon, and then a little bit, so for 5 years I'd been asking him, and then with this salon I was so distracted, so I just focused on this and thought, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe this is just where I'm gonna put all my energy. And so anyways, another little side note is that my husband travels a ton for work, and I super appreciate it, and I know it's no fun. I joke about oh, you get to stay in a hotel and you get to just kick your feet up and I'm running around with the kids, but I know he puts up with a lot more on a regular basis by traveling than I do. And plus, my kids are my little buddies. I just love them. I love hanging out with them. They might not always know that because, every mom has their limit and every mom gets upset, but they're just my buds. I love them. So with that, I didn't want whatever it was, if something else came into my life, it was not going to take more time away from my kids. And I felt like I was already scheduled enough hours in the salon, and I was already booked enough hours in the salon that I couldn't do any more without losing family time, whether it be on the weekend or during the week. I needed at least 2 days a week that I can go volunteer at the kids' school, or I can drive them to their activities. nothing bothers. It's such a bad habit. It's such a bad, or not habit, but trait. I do not like to ask people for help. So I want to drive them to carpool anyways. You know, I want to drive them to their activities and stuff, but it's also like, oh, I gotta ask Teresa again. Oh gosh, I hate that. If you're watching this, just know I love to do that. I mean, I love that we have a house full of kids right now. It makes me super happy. They all had so much fun. Both my kids woke up happy. I just know that their hearts are super full because they had their friends over. So anyways, okay, I'm getting a little off track. So we opened up this salon. Then I started to advertise, you know, Farmhouse Studio. I love our logo. I wanted to put that all over shirts. I wanted to put it all over social media. I loved it. I love my space. Like seriously, this space is beautiful. I'll give you a tour maybe another time just because I don't want to get too distracted, but it's beautiful. I love it. And so, but when we were advertising on social media, people kept asking, well, what are you advertising? If you don't need more, like to advertise that you need a ton more clients, and Deanna doesn't need a ton more clients. Not that we don't take referrals, because we do. But what are you advertising? And I was like, I mean, just the space, just the environment. Like, I don't know. I just want to do it because I love it, and I love the space. I love the logo. I love everything about it. I just, you know, so I was like, I just want to put it out there, but I don't know what we have to offer. So, before I get, okay, good. I'm not getting too off track. So, the way that Monat came about was I went to Chico State. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago, but I went to Chico State, and a girl that I was in the sorority with in pledge class, and always really, really liked her, but you know, life happens, you kind of lose touch with everybody, or not everybody, but you lose touch with people, and she just sent me a really quick personal message on Facebook that said, hey, I know you're a hairstylist, what do you think about the Monat hair care products? That is it. That is all it took. I went and did research. I looked at it. I looked it up. I mean, I was so excited because being a hairstylist, knowing that people I just needed to find that perfect product. I needed to find the product that would help people's hair grow, make it more manageable. All the research, all the testimonies, everything that I kept looking at. I mean, I'm kind of impulsive. I think it took me less than, I would say 2 hours, but I think it was like an hour that I just signed up. I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to do. And after that, I was totally addicted to looking up all the, before and afters. And it was exactly what I'd been telling Joe for 5 or 7 years. I want something else. I want something else. There's got to be something. This does it all. It's, in my field, it's doesn't take time away from my family. It doesn't take time, I don't know. It was answering a lot of mine and my clients' questions about their hair. I just was like, I couldn't sign up fast enough. Honestly, I could not sign up fast enough. And I have never looked back. I have never looked back at all. Like, I am just so happy that I did it. Now, I know some people like to think things through a little bit more than I do. I mean, I moved to Spokane like that. I think Joe and I talked about it for a week when I was like 24. And I thought, oh, nothing's permanent. Well, it's pretty permanent now. But again, it kind of took me a little bit of an adjustment to move to Spokane. But I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I feel the same way about Monat. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, every decision that I've made up until this point has gotten to me to where I am. And so I feel the same way about Monat. Sometimes you just got to go with it. You just got to be like, yep, that's my gut instinct. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, which leads me to the biggest reason why, not just family, but also, okay, so since I am from California, and have moved to Spokane. So I moved up here where all my husband, well, not all my husband's family is, but you know, he's from this area. So so I always kind of had in my head that what if I don't like Spokane? What if something happens? What if I want to move back to California? I need a transferable income. And that was huge because as a hairstylist, I can't move all my clients and move them to Sacramento or move them back to California if that's what I want to do, or if that's what, you know, Joe's had jobs like a couple of years ago. His only offices were in Northern California, and if it had stayed that way, maybe we would have considered moving back. Or now all of his offices are in Southern California, but I don't think that's good. Now with this salon and everything, I think that's kind of whatever. But about 9 years ago, my husband was diagnosed with cancer, and I was pregnant, and I had a year old. Ashley was only a year, and I was like 6 months pregnant with Jacob. And I remember, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I think anybody that would ever be in this position would understand this, but like, my family fleeted up here. As soon as he was diagnosed, he was in the hospital, he woke up, he couldn't walk. And 3 months up to that, we were trying to figure out, 3 months up to that, we were trying to figure out what was wrong with him. Like, his jaw hurt, his ribs hurt, like, it was awful. And I was pregnant, and I was tired, and I was stressed, and we had Ashley, and so anyways, we went to the hospital. My whole family just like flew up. My sisters, my brother, my mom, everybody just came up, and they were here seriously within like 6 hours. I just forever am in like, I just always think about that. But I remember sitting at lunch and telling my sister-in-law, is it awful that I'm already thinking about my plan if something does happen to Joe? It's like, what am I gonna do? I can't support the kids with a life as a hairstylist and still be around them as much as I wanna be around them if something happens to Joe. And Christy, who I love, and my sister Heather, Christy said, Tammy, that's survival. That is totally, that's so normal. And I felt super guilty about thinking that way, but that was really scary for me because I still at that point, it was 9 years ago, but still at that point I was not like, I don't know, if something does happen to Joe, are we gonna move? I would probably wanna move closer to my family, and you know, but then again with that transferable income. So thank God he is good. He's considered cured. He was considered cured 5 years after his last day of treatments and stuff, so all is good. And I used to think that ignorance was bliss. I used to think, gosh, some of my friends that have never had to go through anything like that or whatever, I'm like, they're so lucky, because it just, and you're in your 30s, you're still you're like barely out of your 20s. You're not supposed to be thinking about your husband passing away. And but I do really feel like I do actually feel kind of blessed. I think that it was an awful time, but I think that if we can look at the bright side, there were a couple bright sides to it. And knowing that knowing that Monat is a transferable income, that if someday, for whatever reason, maybe Joe's job takes us some far place away, and I can still make money, and I can still help provide for the family, and plus, it's really good for the kids. The kids seeing us build the salon, they know how much stress it is, but then they are noticing what the benefits are. And same thing with Monat. I talk to them about Monat probably a little too much. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with it right now. And so, but it's good for them. They see the energy. They see how work can be fun, and it doesn't have to just be like, work. So, thank you. I gotta go because my first client is in like 4 minutes, and I just, yeah, thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that all of you guys are still like sitting on your couch and drinking coffee and relaxing, because I've been up since I think 6, so, which is wrong for a Saturday, but okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope I got everything out there. I hope that maybe that motivated you. Maybe that struck a little bit of a like, oh, you know, that I don't know. Maybe any way that I can help, I am here for you guys. So, all right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have a good Saturday.